So today we're going to be looking at the best players in each position, starting with the goalkeepers. We keep it brief with them. There has been a fair few upgrades now since, well, we've done this quite a while back now. But goalkeepers are pretty much the same. You could still get away with Courtois. You could obviously upgrade to the new Alisson. You could even go for the goalkeeper of Team of the Year. Martinez seems to be a solid option. I've not really found him to be any worse than any of the other Team of the Year goalkeepers. He does have the second play style plus, and as you'd have known if you've been on a video of this channel before, I do like the rush out. The rush out plus for me is my favourite one, just purely to get me out of trouble. It just allows them to get off their line as quick as possible and to try and at least get the ball, so that is a must. Everything else is kind of is what it is. We haven't had really any other goalkeepers yet with another double play style other than Casillas that doesn't have the rush out anyway. I've still been a fan of Courtois, Van der Sar as my main two goalkeepers, but I must admit when it comes to goalkeepers, it really doesn't matter that much. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. But as outfield positions go, that's where it does get a little bit more complicated and a little bit more tricky on who the best is. We know that roles plus have definitely been added to shake up a little bit of positioning awareness when it comes to players and how they actually play. Are you playing a fullback, a fullback, a wingback, attacking wingback? There's so many options that you've got to find your personal playstyle. Now, there is the standard, very balanced 4-4-2. There's even going attack heavy and defense heavy and going for like a 4-3-3 with a cam, having the cam stay up front, the two midfielders being kind of like a box to box, and the defensive line staying as it is. You could swap that and go for a defensive mid staying back and only having three up front. There's so many different options, but I find that these left backs personally are my favourite. When it comes to Team of the Year, they did incredibly. They did impeccably, in fact. Some of the levels that these Team of the Year cards have are next level. Now, when we look at the likes of Grimaldo, very much more of an attacking wingback, can play the left mid, left wing, and also left back role, but realistically, I would play him more onto the left back than I would necessarily going forward in the attacking options. Whereas Sakina, unbelievable. Again, very much on the fullback and attacking wingback roles, but does it effortlessly. The pace is incredible. The defensive duty and ability is incredible, but that still doesn't kind of really take that much over Theo Hernandez. Now, he came out prior to Team of the Year, and yet he is still more expensive than both Team of the Years nearly combined. That kind of just shows you the levels that Theo is. He is incredible. And once we are able to actually get a full upgrade for him, because at the minute we are starting to get Evos for his base card and I believe his inform as well. We haven't quite had one yet for this 89, which kind of tells me he's going to get another one probably during Fantasy. I think Fantasy would be a perfect time for him to get another upgrade. Baude, beautiful card, very much on that anticipate hype, very much fullback more so than obviously going the attacking wingback route as well. Same as Cancelo, but I think the big thing that these two have is they can be versatile with both positions. Now obviously Cancelo is going to be right-footed, so you might actually prefer him to be on the right-hand side, which is not a problem. Obviously with Baude he's going to be left-footed, so again left-back's going to be more beneficial for him personally. But both of them with nice play style pluses. You've obviously got the rapid and intercept, and the double play style plus is starting to become more and more important if the card isn't absolutely on the top of the performance. And the final one in left back is Roberto Carlos. Now, I must admit he is incredible still. This year he's still very, very good as a left back. I'm not a big fan of the playstyle pluses. As much as a dead ball plus is nice to have in the team, I found that you don't really need it, to be honest. The free kicks that you'll score in and around the box can be done from pretty much most people. Even just KDB, who's not necessarily a free kick taker, a power shot free kick is just very easy to score anyway. So having that dead ball is not my favourite because it is just feels like a bit of a waste. The whipped pass, always nice. I'll absolutely take it, especially if you are running an attacking wing back. And going forward, Carlos is incredible. But that, again, goes down to your playstyle. And then again, the right-hand side coming up absolutely trumps here. I think there is multiple options, whereas the left back, Teo seems to be the overall victor in this. I must admit, you've obviously got the team of the years in Carvajal and Bronze, both very good, don't get me wrong, but Carfu could definitely take the spot, Walker could take the spot, even Carlos Alberto. Maybe, yes, Thuram, Maicon and Frimpong could do with an extra bit of sauce, like obviously only one playstyle plus between them, but in terms of what they can offer, they are still pretty much arguably up there with the best of them. Obviously Bronze with the incisive pass, the anticipate, and they threw in the long ball throw, which is a bit unfortunate that they've kind of just thrown that one away. I don't think anybody's using it that much. Whereas Carvajal obviously has a solid amount. Press proven, long ball pass and jockey. Would have been nice for them to see a double defensive playstyle plus on them. Maybe a jockey and a slide tackle or a jockey and a block, then having the press proven. But being able to pass, I suppose, isn't the worst thing in the world, let's be real. Whereas Walker's going to be mainly all-out pace with a quick step. We're going to get whipped past with Maicon, Thuram with a slide tackle, but could have got the base version to the 90 as well. Carfu being one of the biggest upgrades that we've seen with the Relentless and Jockey is fantastic, but I must admit, when we're looking at right backs, Carlos Alberto has definitely got my number. Absolutely brilliant with the anticipate and also relentless. Being able to play the centre back, the versatility of him is incredible. So right back wise, I feel like you could pick any of them. And even then, there is some Evos that you could go in as well. Centre backs are always interesting, but this year it's even better. The amount of centre backs that we've got that can be classed as the absolute top. Now, obviously, Virgil-Saliba pairing is going to be very hard to beat until maybe even end of team of the season, maybe even footies at this point. The triple play style plus, how they link together is well worth the dollar. If you can get yourselves together, 8 to 9 million coins, fair enough. I mean, that is a pairing and a half. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are the only option. You could happily go with Lucio and Arejo. You could go with Ferdinand and Stam, Maldini and Haaland. These are the top of the top for the reason, but they've given us so many top end. You could even go for Gold Virgil still. He may not have the same level as this 5.5 centre-back, but the ability in centre-back role is still the same. He is still absolutely incredible, but the top of the top is absolutely beautiful. From Maldini to the brand new Yap Stam to the brand new Arejo, obviously the future star Ferdinand, and then even the upgrade on Militao. I didn't see that one coming out of anywhere, to be honest. He was kind of indicated as a left back, but you're gonna whack him at centre back. The Jockey Plus is fantastic for him. He just needs that double, which eventually will happen with a double play style plus. And the same with Haaland, I must admit. This card's probably better than any striker version he's got at this point. In terms of the level of strikers we've got, I don't think any of his strikers come close to what we have in terms of a centre-back of him. He's obviously got himself the 95 Team of the Year Honourable. It's a fantastic card and most definitely comes in very, very nice. But the centre-back's just better. It fits in better with most players, and obviously there was, I don't even know if it was a glitch, but that semi kind of pack that gave you a Haaland guaranteed, that obviously pushed him way out to people. And honestly, he is a pain to get rid of when it comes to a centre-back. And then obviously we have got Renard in the other Team of the Year, still incredible. A lot better than Paredes, who, if you've played with her, you understand. She's just not the card you want. Now splitting the midfield into DMs, CMs and CAMs, I must admit there is a lot more of that top end than you kind of imagine, to be honest. The DMs come in all the way up to a Rodri. He is kind of the king of the castle in that sort of sense, but there is some very, very nice cards you've got. From the Kimmich SBC to a Patrick SBC, then going to even a Cam and Vinga who you can evolve to nearly that sort of level. De Jong obviously having his DM role, which I think in terms of a winter wildcard was one of the better midfielders, which got given the double play style plus very early on, still proven to be very, very nice in this game. Yaya Toure doing the same with a bit more of a centre mid approach, but most definitely a very good DM in the game. Same as Conte. Now, it's a little bit underwhelming for Conte, I think. As a 90 DM, he's a very nice card, but I just feel like he could have given that a little bit more. But I do know in-game, he's way better than on first appearances, and he's going to put himself in the top. Same as Neves, to be honest, with the pinged pass and press proven. Still very good with obviously all of his stats, coming in with some very, very important roles that you can play in that DM. And same as Carlos Alberto, to be honest. I love his right back card, but this is a great CDM. I like the shapeshifters, the change in positions is always interesting, and I must admit it works. And who doesn't love the dynamic? But let's be real, Rodri is going to be number one in this aspect. Now into the centre mids. We do find that as we go through the top of the list, more and more icons are proving themselves to be just unobtainable. They cannot be catched. You've got your team of the years, Bonmati, Putellas, and then obviously you've got a few others that would be in the other role. For instance, Bellingham in a cam, Rodri in a DM. There wasn't necessarily a solid CM in the list. It is mainly cams and DMs, whereas these two work incredibly together. Now, we did get McAllister the other day through the grassroots greats, and what a card this is. You throw an anchor on him, he's got 90 stats above everything. A perfect midfielder, incisive and pinged pass. Literally, if he had any sort of pace, dribbling, or even a potential shooting or defensive playstyle plus added as well, this card goes through the roof. He's absolutely incredible when it comes to ability, and if you've played him in the game, very, very nice on the dribbling. I really, really want to get this card in the team full potential, because genuinely, what a card to play with. Then we obviously have got the rest. We've got Matthias still kicking about. Sauer with her centre mid version that's beautiful with the incisive. Abile doing the same with Tiki Taka as well as. And then we've got to throw in a bit of Frankie also. Valverde I feel like could do with an upgrade, but we don't really see him really until team of the season or footies that really makes him flourish. At the moment, the relentless and power shot could do with a change up, to be honest. If we manage to get some sort of passing in him, maybe even a passing and defensive and a shooting, would have been the best outcome for him. Now, I do think when it comes to icons in the attack, that is where they flourish. Just look at the list here. Like, I mean, you could pick anybody from this list for a cam and you have got top end everywhere. Dybala being the brand new one. I just love the card design in general. Looks very nice. It's such a different, vibrant green. It just works. But Dybala, as he does go up the ratings, he's very much like Griezmann to me. As a base card, an 86, 7, 88. Then he gets to his 90. It's a nice card. It's a lovely upgrade. But when he starts getting above the 93, 4, 5s, into the team of the season territory, that is where Dybala really comes to work. His dribbling's heightened, better pace, better shooting, better passing. Everything goes really well for him, and he almost shadows himself as a striker. So that's kind of the hard bit, putting him into a cam. But I think this version personally would be better off in the cam, and then maybe the 95 and above would then be turned into more of a striker-esque card. Whereas the rest of them are predominantly more cams, if anything. You could still play them as strikers. Maradona, Pele, Hullet, Cruyff, all of them can play that attacking role, but I must admit they play very, very well in and behind as well. KDB is a great SBC. Bobby Moore with a future star build. Cruyff is Cruyff. The brand new Maradona is 96. The 92 is still incredible, but that 96 is going to be well worth its gold. And then we've not even spoke about the Bellingham. Beautiful team of the year. And then Pele is just gold, even without necessarily attacking playstyle plus. The quick step works, but even without them, he just gets it. He just gets the ball, he floats, he dribbles, he gets round, and he wins games. It's unbelievable. And the same with Zidane. A perfect cam, not necessarily known as a striker, but once he does get a double play star plus, I imagine the alternative position probably is going to be a striker, as most of them would have been centre forward at the very minimum. What's funny is looking at the left wings, if you didn't really know them, you'd kind of think that the left wings just didn't have that much spice, but when you put them all together and think, wow, there is a solid amount of options amongst the top. Now, there's still loads of other options with evolutions, with different cards if you go a bit further down in the list. But when we look at the best of the best, we're looking at the Ronaldinhos, we're looking at the brand new Ribéry's, the Neymars, the Vinny's, the Retons. You've obviously got then the two new future stars, both of them with very good playstyle pluses. Obviously, the Dortmund lad coming in with a trickster is what it is, but the quick step's going to work its magic. Whereas Barcola with Rapid, that I would consider slightly under the quick step now, but then having the finesse shot on top as well. all of them with incredible attributes. You'd be lucky to get any of them, and I've recently played against the 97 Vinny, and I truly forgot from Team of the Year how good that card is. He's just a magician. Now we will get another upgrade for Neymar. Ronaldinho will eventually get his final form at some point, and Ribery's only just been upgraded, so we've probably got to wait a little bit for that one to go anymore. But the standard of wingers, of strikers, of right wings are at a true new high. Now I must admit, the right hand side, I don't know if it's just the fact that there's 3 Team of the Years and obviously a Messi, it just looks so much better. Vinny and Neymar and Ronaldinho are obviously close to my heart, but look at the talent that's involved. Messi, 94 Yamal, James Salah Hansen, even a cheeky Bale thrown in on the right hand side, and Elise, who I deem to be a very, very good upgrade. He is going to be one of them ones that just hits the ground running. He's got himself the finesse. He's got to kind of deal with a trickster, but I mean, his pace is still incredible. If you've ever used him, even just the evolution version of him, he's well worth having a look at a minimum. And I do think as he does progress, maybe if this card gets the Evo at some point and maybe doesn't get into Team of the Season, which I believe he probably will, it's going to be an interesting one for the future for him anyway. But to be honest, you could probably stop at these 3. We've managed to get James untradeable. We've used the other 2 and they are just as good as you can imagine. Really, Hansen comes in as the number 1 in my opinion, regardless of price. She's just broken, like genuinely broken. If they gave her the finesse shot instead for the cutting inside, it would have been game over, because genuinely the pace on her mixed in with the amount of dribbling that she's got is Messi-esque in that sort of level. And Messi's always got to be put in there, because even with the stats not necessarily being absolutely Messi type, but his dribbling is still incredible. If you've used him with his elf-stick dribbling, he can get around anybody. Even from the gold card, from the basic pace that he had, was still one of the top players that you could actually get if you knew how to use him correctly. Now, obviously, when it comes to strikers, it's a very, very long list. And honestly, you could probably have about 3 or 4 pages of strikers in the very top. But realistically, these are going to be the best of the best. We throw in the top of the icons, the R9s, which is obvious, Ham, Henry, Eusebio, Puskás, Dalglish. It's a very easy one. Eto'o, throwing himself in there with the power shot, which is still very meta, but it's not necessarily as broken as once was. I believe the finesse shot for me has gone back to its importance, but regardless of that, he's still got the shooting ability just for a normal shot. Throwing in the quick step with him is absolutely broken territory. Incredible shooting, incredible pace, very good dribbling mixed in with an incredible playstyle plus is the way forward for Eto'o. And we've even then got the Team of the Years, Mbappe, to no one's surprise to be honest. CR7 throwing himself in the hat as the 12th man again, and even Sophia Smith. As you know, when it comes to her gold card, she starts very, very high up that list, and with a Team of the Year, continues to be up there. And then we did get a brand new one with the upgraded Drogba. He kind of beat out Ian Wright in my opinion, just from body type alone. We've got a lot of players that can play the same sort of level as Ian Wright, and I think he will drop down more so than Drogba. Over time, I think it might be a supply issue for him more so than anything. But Drogba, in terms of ability, is next level. If you've used his base card, you know exactly what I'm on about. This is just a heightened version of it. And that is going to be the list for everybody in the top positions of each position. Let me know if you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any. Peace.